I'm Janice Morrison. My mom is from here. My dad is from Liverpool. I have an older brother. He is over in London, England, doing postdoctorate research. And I wish I could visit him more because I do feel at home when I'm over there. But unfortunately, I am here and don't know about how traveling with epilepsy will work because of the timing of when I have to take my medications and have to figure that math out. But that is a little bit about me. So I was diagnosed just over 2 years ago with right temporal lobe epilepsy. I was 35, so yes, it can happen, as I've been told, anytime, any age to anyone. I do have risk factors. I have learning disabilities, and I also suffer from migraines, or as I've read, migraine, because it is a neurological condition itself. I am still learning what all of this is, being that it's only been 2 years. Within that 2 years, it's already been quite a journey. At the time of my diagnosis, I was trying to improve myself and get a, we'll say, upgrade in my current job. I was looking at becoming a manager and moving away from my parents, which the stress of all that is probably what triggered, but nobody can tell me for sure. At that time, I still, I had no idea what the neurologist was telling me. I didn't even know that my uncle has it. Didn't know anyone at that time that had it, didn't know what it was told that I have this. Actually, it was the technician who did my EEG found something, and I asked the nursing staff at Cordalucci Vaughan, can I go downstairs and get a Starbucks? Oh no, you have to wait to see the neurologist before you're allowed to go anywhere. And I'm like, what does that mean? Nobody's telling me anything. I'll say it's changed some things for me, but not much has changed. Well, with my diagnosis being 2 years ago, and I've changed medications 6 times since then, 5 of which were at the very beginning. I've had to stop driving, but I'm now at the point where I feel comfortable enough, and so does my current neurologist, to reinstate my license. Just have to wait for the government, and who knows how long they take. Not climbing ladders and not having a bath. Those are things that I'm like, okay, well, sure, I'll limit them. I won't stop them because it's, once your medication or your treatment, if you have one, starts working and you feel comfortable, my neurologist says just weigh the risk. If it's something that you feel comfortable and if you have a seizure at that moment, then something happens, then maybe you should consider not doing it. But if you feel comfortable, go ahead. He's not big on, no, you shouldn't do this because you have it, or no, you shouldn't go there because you have it. He's just weigh the risk. I am hopefully going to be going swimming at my aunt's house soon, because that's one thing that one of my favorite things to do in the summer is swimming. I've also been able to, last year, at my 1 year mark, went to Canada's Wonderland and did the Leviathan and all the big rides, and I felt perfectly fine. I felt safe. I've never been a big alcohol drinker. I don't particularly like it, so the fact that I don't have, I can't do that doesn't bother me, but other than my experiences with learning to self-advocate and the side effects I've had from medications, I don't really see too much of a change. With my parents, my mom is a little more anxious. If I say I'm not feeling well or I'm feeling off, she starts, the little panic starts. Not too much has changed that I've noticed, thankfully. So far, the only seizures that I've had were when my first neurologist put me on a medication holiday where I wasn't on anything for 3 weeks, which my parents now, and even then we thought this doesn't seem safe. So when I'm not taking medication, I haven't had a stressful moment yet, so I don't know if that's a trigger. My current neurologist doesn't know what my triggers are. Possibly sleep. Even as a child, I've always been a good sleeper. That's one of my favorite things to do is sleep. But nobody really has any answers for me on what my triggers are. But hopefully when I go to the adult genetics epilepsy clinic at Toronto Western next year, this is how it's been for me. Nobody really has any answers for me, and we just move on to the next. Challenges, we'll say, because of the atypical response to my current medication, my family physician had me on medical leave all of last year. Even if I felt okay one day, I don't know how I would have been at work last year. I've only just started back. I work Sundays and every other Saturday. I've slowly increased those hours, but I only started back at work in January, and I do think maybe I could have done a day a week. I was asking my mom, what are we doing today? Where are we going? Even if it was just for groceries, that was like the thing. It was like, yes, we're going out somewhere. Other than that, I haven't really met very many people that don't know about it, because I do work at a Shoppers Drug Mart, so they know, at least the pharmacist knows, and some of my colleagues know that I have this. And I think my favorite thing from this year was telling the Girl Guides of Canada. I volunteer as a leader. I was able to give a little talk before Purple Day, what epilepsy is, what it does for me, what to do about it, and that ended up being their favorite event of the year, was learning about epilepsy. I haven't really faced any stigmas or challenges because of this, I'll say yet, because it is still early, but I do think people need to learn more about it. So first medication they put me on, was on it for a week, and then I had an allergic reaction to it. Started the next one, that one caused lovely side effects, started the next one, another allergic reaction, stopped, went on to the most popular one, Keppra. Keppra got, the whole emotional things, what I learned from someone who I met at the Toronto Epilepsy Walk, Keppra Rage, which that was fun, walking home one day and wanting to punch someone just who was walking beside me. So I stopped that one, and then started, as my neurologist at the time said, medication break, which stopped for about 3 weeks. And at that point, I ended up having 5 seizures over the course of a weekend. Took me into hospital. Then we started the one that I'm currently on. Been on that one since end of October, beginning November of 2023. It caused me an atypical symptom, and no one has been able to explain it even to this day. My neurologist we tried back in November 2024 to lower the dose to see if that improved my symptoms. I had breakthrough seizure and hospital, all that fun stuff. Went back up to my current dose. And this past spring, we tried adding a medication to lower the dose again, and we tried clobazam, which I found out is given at times in emergency at the hospital. But this one, lovely side effects, crying at random intervals, like the whole emotional thing, and then we stopped that, and I'm just on the one. Besides the response I had, it seems to be working. I haven't had any seizures since the breakthrough in November. Basically, I've been lucky that all of my medications, even though they've caused all kinds of problems, have covered my seizures, except for the one breakthrough in November 2024. I am taking another medication for endometriosis, which they have to look at what medications they can give me that would work with that. They seem to be working for me. I have met people at the Purple Day event at Toronto Western, and I met the surgeon who did all of their surgeries, and I don't think that's an option for me because this seems to be working fine. And my uncle has been on his medication for 30 years, and he has frontal epilepsy, and he's swimming, driving, he has the occasional drink. He basically is, as everyone would look at him, doesn't have epilepsy. But I do know I do have a family friend who works in pharmaceutical research, and her mum, who was the original family friend, had epilepsy, and she was one of those people who thought, okay, well, my medication is working. I haven't had any seizures for like decades. Maybe I'm cured. Let's stop this and find out. She had that mindset. And so that prompted her daughter, the one who works in pharmaceutical research, to do her doctorate in seizures. So if I have any questions about medications or, any side effect questions, instead of asking my neurologist, she's the person that I'll ask, even though I haven't talked to her since Christmas.